I was visiting the Scrap Girls Facebook group earlier today, or actually probably about an hour and a half ago, and a lady was saying, is there any YouTube videos of teenage boy layouts? And I had a think about it, and I looked through the videos that I'd done, and I only had one of my son that I'd put into a video. There are other pages that I've done, but not that I've created videos with. There's something about the pretty girl colours and the pretty girl designs that kind of fit with making videos and things. So it kind of raised a bit of a challenge in me to create a page using a photo of my son and his cousin, who recently went on a tramp with my dad, which is their granddad, and they stayed overnight and came back out the next day. And so I grabbed these photos and I printed them on my selfie using the selfie app, which puts two side by side on a 4x6 photo. And I grabbed a few of our current collections. So the papers and also the cards that you see in here are going to come from a few of the current Close to My Heart collection. So I've used a little bit of Something Fierce, and I have pulled out a little bit of the I Heart Us papers, and I've gone for the tones that were more fitting with nature, because this was about a walk, and I also pulled out some of the Picture My Life cards from these different collections that I thought would go, and I have just been playing around with these. I also used some of the papers from our collection that goes with just about everything, which is the Seasons Mix-In collection. So I'm just been through the process here where I am choosing the papers that kind of help the photo pop, and while I loved the paler colours, it didn't quite work the same way. And then when I saw the photos here with the spotty blue background, it kind of made me think that actually this layout's not going to be a typical white background, because it just seems to leap off the photos seem to sort of leap out from the background when I'm using this spotty paper. And thankfully our collection packs come with two of each, so even though I'd cut into the other one, I was actually able to pull out a fresh piece that I can use for this page here. So I'm just sort of placing the pieces together. A little bit of thought goes into it, but at the same time, a little bit of random as well. When you're going on a tramp, it's not always nice and neat and tidy. You'll see here that I used the thin foam tape, and that's just to lift it off the background a little bit, because I'm looking at this and thinking that I will tuck some pieces in behind it. So here I have got some white cardstock, and I'm going to do some stamping on here. And just using the archival or the black ink, and I'm going to stamp some floral type things. Now it's not the flower that I'm going for here, it's actually the leaves that are on here. So you won't see, when I put this all together, you won't actually see a lot of the flower. It's mainly the foliage that I was wanting to pull into it. So I'm just looking back through older stamps that I've got, and different stamps that have that leaf or that foliage type effect, just to connect with the walk that my son and his cousin and their granddad went on recently. So I had to play with and had to think about different inks that might have worked, but I actually decided that I was just going to stick with the black for these. So stamping them on, I'm going to stamp them on twice, and then I'm going to fussy cut around each of these stamps. So I will go and do that off camera. Here we go. I've tucked them in behind the photos at different points, and now I'm going to just sort of play around with the journaling card that I want to put in there and work out how I'm going to place all that together. I had a bit of, because I now wasn't using the white background, I had to think carefully about what I was going to do with my title. Recently we had a special where the alpha stamps were, I think it was 30% off, but it might have been more, and I got myself a couple more sets from our books, and I'm actually going to stamp the title, which is Tramping, onto another piece of pattern paper, and I'm going to fussy cut around the letters as well. So here you'll see that or what I just did then was I actually pulled it aside to check that it was going to fit across the layout. So here I'm just looking at the length of it, thinking how long will the letters and words be once I've cut them out. So I have used the black ink on here. I'm just putting in trimping, and the ING is on a separate piece as well. Just wouldn't fit all the way across the block, but I'm going to be cutting these out anyway, so it doesn't actually matter if they're lined up or not at this stage of the creation process. So here we go, we've got trimping, and I'm going to go and cut around each of those letters and come back, getting ready to stick these onto the layout down the bottom there. And I'm actually going to tuck them so that they go across the journaling card as well, to sort of pull that all in to my little central cluster on the page. So here I've got that there ready to go. So I'm just going to pop away and get some get the adhesive and get these all stuck down so that they are ready to share with you. So I've stuck these down, and now I'm just popping in a journaling note about how the boys were waiting most of January. My father actually went on this tramp in, I think it was end of November, with a group of kids from Christian youth camps in Waihola, and he quite liked this walk and thought how good it would be to do with 2 of his grandsons. Thanks for watching.